Yep, you read the description correctly. This is this little beast here. It hasn't got a sticker on because I took it off because I find them annoying. This is the RS3M 2020 MagLev edition. Michael Cox is the only person who knows I was going to do this anyway, because I said I was going to do it. So basically I got a MagLev kit from thecubicle.com. Thank you very much, lads, for that. If just for reference, if you're going to get a MagLev kit and you're going to do lots of MagLev conversions, buy at least 6 kits and then you'll have a 7th kit free, okay, because you get 2 spare magnets per kit, okay. So if you buy 6 you can make a 7th one out of the spares. Anyway, there you go. So what did I do with this? I'll explain with a bit of paper and a pen, and we'll go old school, okay. So don't forget, this is a £10 cube. It's like $9.99 to buy one of these, okay, dead cheap. But wait wait for the surprise. Right, so this is what I've done, okay. So here's what is traditionally in there. I haven't got the tensioner in there because I wanted to keep this as simplistic, and me getting into drawing, I get really technical and I start drawing really complicated, so I try and make it as basic as possible, as fast as I possibly could this morning. So we've got the middle cap. This is the middle cap of the cube. This should be obviously a lot closer to the core. It's just a rough representation. So you normally have a screw going into the core, and this has got all the bits in it, okay, and this is one side, as it were. So that's that bit, okay. If I was just to do that, that's the bit you're looking at. But you're looking at that centerpiece there, okay. You got a washer, a spring, and another washer. Now the theory is, what you're supposed to do is, as you rotate the side, what's supposed to happen is all this is supposed to stay still, and the plastic cap is supposed to just rub against this washer, okay. That's the theory. However, what generally happens is this washer gets stuck for whatever reason. The build up on it, whatever reason is, there's never any lube in these, so it should be dry against there, but it shouldn't really be. It should be, what really ideally would be perfect would be, this would be a bearing, like a ball bearing down here, but that's just another thing that can fail on a cube, and you don't want a ball bearing failing on a cube. Anyway, that's just getting complicated, so we'll keep it simple. What's happening is, when you turn on these things, the common problem with these things is this stuff is all metal, the spring's metal, the washers are metal, etc, etc. It all rubs together and it generates a lot of crap and dust, and it also generates noise, okay, as it turns, like graunchy, creaky noise, okay. And I'm disappearing on my little screen because of a bit of paper, so I'm trying to keep this close to the camera but not in front of my face. And what eventually happens is the black stuff that gets generated with all that grinding gets into the core eventually, and then the little centerpieces here, and those nice little white bits there, turn black, okay. You get like a black gum on them, and it's horrible, and it'll wear your cube out eventually, because it's just iron filings, technically it's all it is, okay. So what we do is we take out the 2 washers and the spring that are in there, okay. Take the screw out, take them off, and we replace it with 2 magnets, okay. This is the MagLev, or magnetic levitation technology, okay. So what you do is, if you were a brainiac like I used to be at school with any, basic stuff about magnetism, north and south attract, okay, south and south repel, north and north repel, okay. So what you've got is, you've got 2 magnets repelling, which basically acts like what a spring would do, okay. So they push apart like a spring would do when you compress it. It tries to push your fingers apart. The 2 magnets would do the same, but on a much nicer way, and I'll explain why. This top magnet sticks to the top screw, okay. Okay, so that one is just fixed with the screw. Wherever the screw turns, that's where that's turning. This bottom magnet is pushed and forced to stay still at the bottom of the cap, okay. So that will only turn when the cap turns, but there's nothing in between to rub, so there's no friction here. Zero friction, none at all. The only friction is caused with the rest of the cube, and there's the screw touching the end cap plastics, which is the way it's done. So we've eliminated all the noise and all the friction from that old outdated 1980s technology, and we replaced it with modern stuff that works really well, and it just changes. It's a game changer completely. And most new cubes now, if you're going to get a decent cube, will be a MagLev cube. They'll all start doing it, okay. Even the budget cubes will start being MagLev soon enough, because old text, just not worth it. So I think I said hello to the cubicle before, didn't I? And talking about it and stuff like that. So cheers again. So I fitted them. It took me a while because I had to strip this right down to the bare everything. Everything got completely stripped. All the black gunk removed from it, so it's nice and clean and fresh, and it's like a brand new cube. As you can see, if I pop the cap off here, nice yellow one, you can see it's super clean in there. There's nothing in there. It's just 2 magnets, a screw, and an adjuster for the tension. Okay. So I've set this cube up like my GAN 12. Okay. It is on tension 2, tightness 4. Okay. You kind of set this tightness. It's roughly the same as what the GAN 12 is at tension, tightness 4 and tension 2. So it's a rough estimate guess. And the results are astonishing. Okay, as you can see, I had to play with the WRM V9. I think that's the right one. Correct us, Michael Cox, in the comments if I'm wrong. WRM V9, and this is very close to it. it's really nice. It hasn't got the corner to core magnets, obviously, because the V9 has the ball core or whatever version you get. The ball core gives you all the magnets and stuff in the middle. Right. First aspects of this, when I first did it, I didn't have a lube in, and it was just like silly. It was fast. I didn't have tension on, so there was no brakes, and it was spinning. It was literally, I could spin it right round. Okay. So the tension and everything has done it. I've also put 300 weight lube in there just to give it a nice round feel. And the first thing you'll notice, how quiet is that? Okay, quiet. This cube can be noisy when you flick it, okay, because it's got nice chunky blocks in there. It's not a super light cube. It's not a heavy cube. It's just not as light as the GAN 12. Okay, that's where the GAN 12 has its win, is weight. That's the only win the GAN 12, by the way, has over this cube now. There's a game changer for you. Corner cutting on this is amazing as usual. Okay, you can literally just force it and it'll just want to go. Okay, how does it perform? Performs super well. Okay, 300 weight, and it's really nice. It's just, even if you get out of shape with it, it still goes. That's one thing this cube does really well, is if you get out of shape, it will, when you hear it clunk in there, that's it, out of shape, but it doesn't stop you. Not normally anyway, unless you get really out of hand. I mean, I'm doing left-handed J-perms there, and you can hear it clunking. That's it locking over it because I'm corner cutting. But that's the typical sign that you're corner cutting and you're getting really fast at it. The other thing this does really well over the GAN 12, this does MUs really well, and you can hear it cutting. And I don't do MUs very well. Okay, I do them really crap. Ask Michael Cox. I'm really terrible at MU or doing RU. But this cube lets me do it really well, and I'm actually enjoying doing MUs when I come across like the PLLs for them. I'm not going to name them because I have a blank moment. I've just went blank on which PLLs. MPerm, NPerm, no, MPerm, ZPerm, I think. Yes. So they're really nice. You see how easy it is, and it's not too noisy, which is good. And there's no grunching. No grunch. There's nothing. It's just, if you were just to play with this and just do really slow solves, people probably wouldn't even know you were actually doing a cube, because it is so quiet. I mean, the microphone's very sensitive. I've got it really cranked up so I can talk and be recorded. This, even though it is possible to twist a corner, I'm not forcing that. It's quite easy. Never had a corner twist on this. I've never had a pop on it. Never ever. I did a load of solves, over 100 solves last night, and not one corner twist, not one pop. If I'd done the same on the GAN 12, I guarantee you I had at least one corner twist when I was pushing my boundaries. and that's what lets the GAN 12 down. Is it is very easy to get out of shape with it, if you've got any bad cubing habits, any bad twists and turns, it will let you know. It will either lock up or it'll blow up. It's not a very forgiving cube, which I found out. You've got to either have it really tight to stop it from doing it, or if you try to have it, I don't know how Timon has it on tightness 4, for example, without it exploding on him when he's solving. He just must be so physically accurate with his fingers that it just simply just falls in the right place every time, and he gets away with it. But for an average cuber, it's one of those cubes that maybe you shouldn't purchase. Okay, I got them because I could at the time. I don't regret buying the GAN 12, but I am feeling its limitations now, and this is why this is now my main cube again. So I have gone from a 70 quid cube back to a 9.99 cube, simply because this allows me to do what I want with it. I've set it up for me, and it does exactly what I want. It doesn't get in my way when I'm solving. Even when I get mixed up a little bit, it just clunks out the way and just realigns. I can't do that with GAN 12. I tend to have a partial pop where it'll pop into one of the outer, that's got like 2 sets of tracks in it, and sometimes it'll pop out the first track and the second track will be held in the first track, so it's out of the socket, so it's like partially disjointed, and you've got to like lift the bits up to allow the magnet to pull it all back together again briefly, and it's a bad fault, and it happens quite a lot for me. This does not do it. This is rock solid all the time, and all last night I couldn't stop solving. I just wanted to solve and solve and solve. And I did that with the V9 when I was playing with Michael's cube a couple of weekends ago. He brought the V9 along, and I was like, wow, this is really nice, and I couldn't stop putting that down as well. Even with the corner magnets, it still felt much better than the GAN 12. Stability wise, the corner cutting wise, the fact that it didn't really, when it locked up, it was very forgiving, and it sorted itself out, just like this is. I know we can get the RS3M 2021 MagLev edition, of course, which is basically this one with magnets. Okay, but it was a great experiment. I enjoyed stripping it all down. I enjoyed getting the magnets right. The one thing I don't know if I mentioned on the magnets when I was doing the diagram, when you've got the NSN, make sure you do that right on every single one. They are very strong magnets, and if you get them magnets the wrong polarity, even if they are repelling, say, SNS, so they've got 2 norths in the middle, you're going to affect the rest of the cube. So you're going to have magnets pulling on cubes, on parts that shouldn't be pulling, okay, when you're turning it and stuff like that. And this is why you've got to have the magnets in the right polarity on every single conversion part. Otherwise, your cube's not going to work right. It's going to pull and push at the wrong times and stuff, and it could very well make it very unstable. This cube is phenomenal. It's the best thing I've done in a long time for cubing, and I strongly suggest having a go. If you've got an old cube that the MagLev kit will fit into, do it. It's worth it. It's worth the hassle. It took me 2 hours to do this cube and convert it over, primarily because I had to clean it all out, but it would have took like half an hour to do probably. Setting it up took us about 10-15 minutes just to get it just the way I wanted it. A couple of solves. Oh, not too slack, too fast, and this is perfect now. And it's just, I just love messing around with it. It just look at that, man. It just goes. It's really nice, and it feels nice. It's not a bad cube. I'm doing a really poor example of a solve here, by the way, so just bear with me. But you can see it's not giving me any real headache, other than the fact that I just learned that one. Thank you, Skills. Thank you, Felix. It's not giving us any headache at all. So I don't know if I even know it was in camera shot. I'll play it back in a minute and have a look. But it wasn't the fastest solve. It's just, I was just messing around with it. It's great. It's a great achievement. I'm dead chuffed with it. And like I say, I've put the GAN 12 away for the minute, and I'm playing with this all the time. It's like I can't put it down. I'll probably stop this video and have a quick scramble and a couple of solves. So there you go. So that is the RS3M 2020 MagLev edition. Okay, limited edition, because there's no such thing as these unless you put your own magnet in. So there you go, collectible King Who Wants to Survive for 500 quid. Drop us a comment below. See you later. Have fun. Hi, this is WBCS Neo. Thank you for watching this video. If you did like it, please check out all the other videos I do have. More importantly, please subscribe, like, share, and if you can, comment below if you want. Okay, comments will be answered as soon as I can. Until the next time, see you later. Bye bye.